We are making herstory today, folks. Not only is this Lady Arcader's first in-person event, but I think it may be the first live in-person Moon and Femme speedrun in the world. Which is pretty freaking fantastic. I also want to announce that joining me as co-host for our first showcase is ClockworkOphelia. How are you doing today?
Oh, I'm not too bad today. It's a nice day out, a little bit warm, but we're nice and cozy in here, nice and cool.
Yeah, they've got us set with the AC in. I think we are ready for speedruns, folks. What do you speedruns? Yeah. Okay, so with that, we're going to jump right into our first run. Please welcome IzzyHope, who will be playing Disney Inside Out New.
Hello everyone, my name is IzzyHope58 and I'm running a 3D platformer type game. Got a lot of fun. It's based off of my
Maybe next we can go somewhere relaxing and non-scary, hmm? Well, my instinct is to run and hide. But I won't! This time. Well, my instinct is to run in this time. Gotta conquer my fear and pop these balloons. Ah! These are supposed to be on the shelves. Oh, this is bonkers. I can't even begin to process all of this. Wow! Came back. It's the end of the Whoa! 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 My instinct is to run and hide, but I've got to turn on the memory matrix. Whoa! From a mind manual. I don't get a paper cut. Whoa! This is not happening!
it almost happened there. As you can see, very easy.
Whoa! 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 him!
For at least New Game Plus or any percent, the balloons aren't.
Hello! Gotcha! Wow, that went better than expected. Yes! My instinct is to run and hide, but I've got to turn on the memory matrix. Hello?
It's very similar to Curators, how like you have these figures and you put them on a base. However, because I'm playing on the PC version, you actually just get all of the
Okay, nothing to be afraid of, just a memory. I'll... What? Monsters in Riley's mind? Get me out of here!
What can I do?
Work here?
No.
Please?
Faster if you jump and then pick them up rather than just picking them normal. It's very slow.
Hey!
Gotta deal with this broccoli.
There's no
Lots
getting
of broccoli
past
in
it.
this game. I'm not a fan of broccoli, except if I
Hold
have
on.
peanut butter.
Where did that come from?
I was gonna say, peanut butter and broccoli is not a combination I've ever heard of, but I
Yeah.
actually kind of want to try it.
Alright, so here I'm going to be switching characters, and then that'll allow us to get an extra jump just to get up here, kind of jump in midair. And then I'm going to be doing another dimension break here. I'm going to be switching back just a tiny bit, and then jumping around these wheels, and then I'm going to try to stay alive and not die. And that allows us to skip having to get another memory all the way over to the left, and I can just jump around these
Beer,
blocks and
get a grip.
Alright, so this is the next level. This level is all of the characters and shows us what their powers are. So, here's going to explain. We have a pit of lava, and obviously, anger is the one that can.
Each emotion has a
lava.
Anger tries to keep
I mean, that makes sense.
Ooh,
I'm
but
angry. I
it's a bit of a...
feel like I could
He
also
can
Yeah,
walk across
definitely.
lava without getting hurt.
And then here I'm going to switch over to Disgust. Disgust is able to kind of bounce really high on these clouds. So as you can see in this level, it kind of gives us different obstacles that like you have to use different characters. And there's these like different like stations that you can use to switch characters.
Yeah, that was going to be my next question. Like, is the game beatable with the main character? You absolutely have to.
Yeah, so
that only they can perform.
this is like the only level where you have to play as certain characters. And thankfully for like if you're playing on console and you don't own all the characters, the game will let you like switch to the characters at certain times. And then this part, of course, introduces fear, which is running really fast, which is perfect for speedrunners.
Special moves that only they can perform. Fear knows how to flee to safety.
Yeah, I think in this game, fear is my spirit animal.
Exactly.
Oh,
Yeah.
100%. Their audio is the best.
Their voice lines are so funny. It never gets old hearing all the voice lines they have. So this section is supposed to be introducing Joy, who we haven't seen yet in the run, who has kind of a flutter ability. We'll be seeing her later, but instead we're just going to kind of skip past over that. We don't need Joy yet.
Gotta be around here somewhere. Feel it, feel it.
And then we're just going to be coming up here. Grabbing this memory and jumping all the way down again.
You'll never catch me, scary stuff. I call that an unqualified success.
Right, and that's pretty much the end of this level. This game kind of has like sets of 3 levels. So 3 levels are going to be like cloud-based, and then after that we'll have like music-based ones. So a lot of themed levels and very fun. It is sometimes hard to like remember which level is which because there's nearly 30 levels in this game.
Yeah, that's a
But
lot. That is
yeah.
a lot. So is the win condition the same for each level, or are there different win conditions? For the
No.
levels?
So for every level, you just have to get to the end portal.
Okay.
So we're gonna be doing another extend spring boost there, and then doing spring boost here. Just kind of find whenever there's a spring. My thought is always, okay, how can we use this to our advantage and get further in the level?
How far can we go?
Springs do feel very broken.
They are
watching this.
very
They
broken.
Feel
That's
so
like
broken.
the first thing I found. I'm like, okay, this is what makes this a fun speed game for me. So we have another one of these memory workers here, and we're just gonna bring him over here. You can also sometimes get stuck when rolling, which is very annoying, and it seems completely random when it happens. There's also these bulls that are very annoying. They seem random and like they can just get in your way. A lot of things can like damage you and get in your way and slow you down.
I can't believe how high up this is. I hope the oxygen lasts.
But thankfully they can fall off the cliff sometimes. Alright.
Oh yeah.
So now we have another 2D level. Yeah. Just going to be... Dang, I got stuck again. Doing extended spring boost all the way over here. Then here we just gotta wait a little bit because cloud cycles.
So is it possible to apply the 3D skip to all the 2D levels, or is it only beneficial in some of them?
Yeah, so you can do it pretty much anywhere where there's a memory deposit. You're able to do the dimension break, and so I'm actually going to be doing it right now.
Awesome.
Right here. Pretty much in any 2D level, and there's actually one level later on that is super broken. You can basically skip the entire thing. We'll see that later on in the run. It's also very helpful to have it here because there's these bouncing blocks, and they're on a cycle, and sometimes you just gotta. Oh dear, that's something that can happen when you're in dimension break. Is you can just get pushed out, and the geometry is not the collision for where you're able to stand is not what it looks like, and the camera's not designed for it. So that's something that can happen. And when you die or switch characters or anything, you lose the dimension break. So unfortunately, I don't have it here. Because usually I would be able to just kind of jump around these blocks. Alright, so here we're going to be switching over to Joy in order to use her hover ability and also a character swap. So as you can see, she kind of does this little hover. It's very hard to control. Like it's when I was teaching a friend this game, it was very hard for them to get used to like the timing of the double jump. It's very unintuitive. All right, just gotta make our way across these, make sure they don't drop under us, and that's the end of the level.
Oh yeah.
All right, so we got another cloud level. This one's really fun. As we can see, there's a spring here, so we're just going to do that. The extended spring boost versus the normal spring boost, sometimes there's like walls in the way, but if you like hold the dash button, which doesn't extend spring boost, you're able to like keep your momentum even if you hit a wall. And that's actually frame rate dependent, depending like which walls will work or not. So it's kind of like just situational whether you want to tap it or hold it for any given one. Got another one of these memory workers. Again, jumping to make our running a lot faster. And then here we're going to be switching over to Joy. And we're going to be using her hover ability to skip a little puzzle with this memory.
You don't need to do puzzles when you have Joy.
Yeah,
Joy's perfect.
of course. Who needs to use critical thinking skills when you just have happiness and joy?
Yes.
Alright, so this spring boost is quite tricky because there's a bunch of lava here. If I can get just on the edge of the spring, I can just barely
That was excellent.
That was
spring
really
boost over.
awesome.
So I'm assuming they didn't intend the spring to work that way.
Definitely not. It's definitely an unintended but welcome side effect of how the game and characters work in this game. These broccolis can also be annoying because whenever they're like spinning like that, you're not able to use your projectile attack and you have to dash into them. So some certain broccoli can be very annoying. I'm also here going to take damage in order to use my invincibility frames to just jump up that block right there. This level also introduces these switches that kind of go with the music that you can turn on and off, which are going to be used quite a bit throughout the game. Can I make it? Ah, no. Alright, so here I'm going to be doing another dimension break.
You don't belong here.
And you can do them on the memory deposits, or also there's these guys with that have like tubes that like will transfer them. But here I'm just gonna skip right past all these stuff. We don't need all these puzzles. They don't matter.
I love it. Chat is saying puzzles are suggestions.
Puzzles are just suggestions, exactly. Alright, this level is very fun and very tricky. We're going to try to land on this spring. Not ground pound, I'm trying to land on the spring. Doing these spring boosts can be quite tricky to get positioned correctly. And then we're going to be using a Joy. Joy's used for quite a few skips in this run now. Just kind of... I didn't quite get it. Another thing that's fun when kind of finding skips and routing for this game is trying to try to find a good combination of switching characters. So for example, here we're going to be switching to Joy in order to get around here, and then right away after we're going to be doing another character swap to go back over to Fear in order to get up onto this platform. So when routing for this game, it's really useful when finding like two skips in a row that use character swaps, so we don't have to do like a double switch.
And you can move your character while it's transitioning. Is that true? Like, do you lose a lot of time with the switch? Like, is that something that you like incorporate
So
into the
switching
run?
characters, switching once takes about like 2.5 seconds, so it depends on the skip. But more often than not, as long as it saves like a handful of seconds, it's worth it to do character swaps.
Yeah, of course, as long as you save more than you lose.
Exactly, yeah. So just gonna do an extended spring boost over there, try to avoid these blocks. And then there's a memory that's kind of up on those blocks. Again, we can use Joy to just skip over that. Puzzles or suggestions, doesn't matter.
They don't get fired.
Switch back over to Fear, and that's the end of that level.
GG.
Alright, so we got another 2D level here.
I'm just saying, I kind of want to live in this 2D music world. It's really, really pretty. I really want to be here.
Yeah, it's so pretty, and the music is very catchy. Like, sometimes I just get the tune stuck in my head throughout the day. Gotta wait for the proper cycles in order to turn on the switches. I'm going to be doing another dimension break here, and this one's a bit tricky, but I'm going to... Oh, did I not do it? Hello? Game? There we go.
Very nice, very nice.
Yeah. This one's quite tricky. I've implemented this one more recently. Oh no! I fell through.
You were robbed. That
Yeah.
You should have been on that. That was rude.
I think the memory will still be back up here. Sometimes the memories can just not spawn back and actually be ungrabbable. And in those cases, you have to restart the level, but thankfully, it didn't happen this time.
Can you do like a quick restart for the menu if you need to?
Unfortunately, no. So, That is one thing that I don't like about this game, is that if you have to restart the level, you have to go all the way back to the hub, and then there's this screen, which takes forever in order for you to get back to the level select, which is
But
really
you get to
annoying.
see all of the emotions.
Yeah, you can see all the emotions. I was on
I guess
this
I'll-
level. No, I was not on this level. This is spoilers. This is spoilers for
You didn't
later
see
on the
anything.
runs.
Chat,
Don't-
you
I
didn't
don't-
see anything.
Don't watch
you
it.
don't see
Don't watch
anything.
right now.
Look away,
Chat,
audience.
look away. Nothing happened.
No spoilers for later in the run. No spoilers for Inside Out 2. Also, I have seen Inside Out 2, and if you're thinking about watching it, I would highly recommend it. I've loved it so much. I saw it twice on release day, and then I also saw it once
Where does that
here
one
in
go?
Toronto a few days
Yeah,
ago.
I heard it was really well recepted.
Yeah, and it's doing really well at the box office. Like, I think it's like the highest grossing opening or something. It's set
For
some sort of
animation.
record.
Yeah, I think so too. You know, speaking of spoilers, since we can talk about Inside Out, this one, does the game follow the same theme as the movie? Like, are we Riley's emotions after moving from Minnesota to San Francisco? Is that the theme?
So,
or
I think the story in a lot of the Disney Infinity playsets is that it takes place afterwards.
Ah, okay.
So it's kind of a sequel story. So I guess technically now this would take place in between the two movies. Also, I guess to explain what Disney Infinity is for, I'm really struggling with this skip.
Together, fear.
You got this.
Yeah,
It's
I
a
got
tough,
believe in you.
Tough skip.
Yeah. So a lot of the Disney Infinity, some people don't really know what Disney Infinity is, or they've just kind of heard of it. I like to describe it as basically a collection of games. So there are a bunch of different play sets that they're called in Disney Infinity. And each one is based off of a different property. So there's one for The Incredibles, one's for Monsters University, Toy Story, Inside Out, of course. There's a bunch of Star Wars one, and each one kind of has its own set of levels and characters that you can play as and story to complete.
Well, I was not prepared for that.
And then there's also like a level editor where you can play as all of the characters in Disney Infinity and just kind of mess around.
And that is how it's
I'm just going to do this normally because it's taking too long.
Izzy, do you mind if I cut in here for a little second?
Absolutely, go ahead.
Not a problem. I just want to let everybody know, why we're here today for our Lady Arcaders Out of Bounds. Lady Arcaders Out of Bounds is part of the Toronto Games Week, which is a collective coordination of events organized independently by dozens of organizations, curators, companies, creators, and communities. If you'd like to volunteer, help with a coalition of community organizations and nonprofits, or if you'd like to run an event yourself, you can find more information at torontogamesweek.com or by typing !TGW in chat. I look away for a second, and you have schmooved your way through the level.
Yeah, I finally got past that section. More just, these levels are very fun and lots of routing opportunity, and just finding cool movement.
it looks like the run is very smooth too. Like it feels like the movement, if you're like speedrunning, as one does, looks very smooth.
Yeah, the movement is so fun and just so fluid, and just like once you get used to the movement, it's just so addicting. I just play those same levels over and over again because the movement's that fun. And I'm a huge fan of just like good movement in games and speedruns that just like have a good flow to them.
Does the leaderboard have ILs as well?
The leaderboard, so we actually just got a brand new leaderboard for Inside Out specifically, and it does have ILs, but there are no runs on it yet. So if you're interested in learning the game, we would love to have more runners for this, and maybe do some ILs and get some records on the board.
Yeah, this is definitely a looking for runners run. It looks like a lot of fun. So
I kind of
definitely
want to
encourage
pick up
chat to
this
check
run.
It out.
Yeah, it's highly underrated in my opinion, and I would definitely love to get more runners. So there at the end of the level, I actually switched to Disgust, and that's because in this level, we're going to be starting out using Disgust's power to jump on clouds, and then we're right away going to be doing a swap jump. So that's something I love doing in this game is figuring out different routes and figuring out like the optimal way to switch characters and take advantage of each one's power in order to route it out the best you can.
Oh no! Where'd that come from?
And there's definitely a lot more potential for more skips and more movement optimizations and stuff in this game, so definitely far from optimized.
I have
But
a fun question from chat. It says, would you describe the speedrun as more movement or more shinies?
more movement or more what?
Shinies.
I don't know. I'd say it's kind of a mix of both, but it's definitely very movement based. So I'd probably say it's more movement.
More movement, got it.
More movement.
Thank you.
I don't like the looks of those thunderclouds.
Yeah, they're very scary, and they can also get in your way if they go off at the wrong time. They can end up falling through.
Yeah, do they have a global cycle as well? So if you miss one, you have to wait, or?
I think they're global cycle. Yeah, it's a bit hard to tell, especially in some levels when like you're not on the right cycle. So this is probably the shortest or one of the shortest levels of the run. It's very simple. We just use this spring, go over here, and then there's a bunch of puzzles that we're supposed to do. I haven't done them in years, honestly. We just climb up here, make sure this wall doesn't get us, and then we can just do a simple spring boost, and that level exits right here.
Wow, nice.
Oh, that was...
Very quick. It's like nearly 30 seconds.
I feel like you skipped a lot of that level with
Yeah,
that
there's
spring
a lot.
boost.
I haven't heard this one before.
Spring boosts are the trick of the game. This level is very cycle spaced, so
This stops that.
hopefully I can get it. And there's also some pretty tricky... We're going to be doing some spring boosts, but there's these like blocks that are in the way. So I'm going to try to do a spring boost and then like right at the perfect timing try to use my projectile to destroy the block.
And that's the kind of surprise I like.
Alright, so we made this block cycle. And then we're going to do a dimension right here. Very nice, got that. First try.
GG.
I'm gonna die here just so I am back in TD. Didn't quite get that, but I'll try it again now that the block's destroyed.
How could any of this be happening?
Awesome, that's pretty good.
Never watching TV ever again.
Sometimes you have to turn the switches off like for a brief second just so they line up properly. And then these spiky round things can be very annoying. So, most of the time with those, all I do is just like dash and roll and then just take damage and just damage past them.
Sometimes the only way to go is with the damage boost.
Exactly, yeah. Fortunately didn't get a great cycle for these blocks here, but that's okay.
I have another question about the game because I know you're kind of like the router supreme for,
Yeah, definitely.
for this game. So when you first started, like just to have context, how long does it take to play this game semi-casually? Like when you're first learning to speedrun?
I'd say if you're like learning the run, I'd say probably takes like 3 to 4, maybe 5 hours.
Oh, yeah.
Probably similar-ish for like playing it casually. I'd say it's been a long time since I've done it, so I'm not entirely sure. But no, when I taught one of my friends, I think it took like 3 to 5 hours, I'd say.
Yeah, so that's great context because you have gotten this game to be under 1 hour.
Yes,
so that's huge.
Yeah, the record right now I think is like 51 minutes loadless, and we are just on the cusp of getting sub 50 minutes.
Oh, it's so exciting.
Really? That's awesome.
So here I'm actually kind of out of bounds, and I'm going to be clipping through this wall here.
Out of bounds in Toronto.
Out of bounds in Toronto! Woo! Again, skipping a lot of annoying puzzle, platforming, damage type stuff.
Again, puzzles are
just
are a
suggestion.
suggestion. We don't need those.
Yeah. And here, once again, going to be switching over to discuss to try to jump up here.
Okay, so follow-up question. I know when you switch your character, you get a boost. Is that on any switch or with a specific character?
That
you
is
get a
on
big-
any
okay.
switch, so no matter what character you switch to or switch from, you're able to get a basically, as soon as the switch happens, you're able to double jump again, no matter if you're on the ground or not.
Okay, awesome. Thank
So
you.
a lot of that is just timing when you do your jump with the character switch in order to... This memory is also just down here for some reason. It's supposed to spawn up there, but it doesn't because reasons.
Is it helpful for routing or negative for routing?
It is very helpful for routing because you would have to go up there and wait for that cycle, so...
So perfect, working as intended.
Working as intended, totally. Don't tell the devs.
Devs don't need to know anything.
Yeah.
It's fine.
But yeah, the devs of Disney Infinity also made the Toy Story 3 video game, which was the very first game I actually speedrun, and that's also a very fun speedrun to do. So here, just turning switches on and off to make sure to get through. This part's pretty casual and pretty simple. There's not too much going on for this section, so if there's anything else that the hosts want to say, that'd be a good time.
Yeah, absolutely. I just want to shout out again to chat, those watching us virtually, that we are live on location at See-scape, which is Toronto's original sci-fi cyberpunk themed bar and cafe. Whether you're a seasoned gamer or just looking for a night of adventure, See-scape offers weekly events like karaoke, movies, games, and magic. They also have hundreds of board games and video games that you can rent and play daily. You can check out their website at seescapeto.com or by typing !Seescape in chat. And I will tell you, I walked by a whole host of board games and consoles when I was in the venue earlier, and it looks like a lot of fun.
Yeah, I need to peruse through their library because it looks fantastic.
If I have time today, I'm definitely going to be checking some of that stuff out.
Yeah, absolutely. And the upstairs is pretty exciting as well because we're up here and you're playing games fast, and it's awesome. So let's go.
Alright, so these levels are called Summer, Winter, Falls, so these levels introduce these gravity changers, and they can be quite broken. For example, we can kind of just roll through them, and that kind of keeps our momentum, which is very nice.
I didn't know we were playing Oracle of Seasons. Too much season changing
Too
here.
many season changes. I would think being in Canada, like traveling here, it would be kind of coldish, but it is very warm here this weekend. Or this week.
Everyone who hasn't had the true Toronto experience, they're getting it because we had a glorious weekend followed by 40-degree humidity.
Yep, that tracks.
Certainly not looking as chill in the game as it is here right now. Although we are very chill in this venue.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're
AC
keeping
is
it nice and comfy.
top
Thankfully, we have AC. Shout out to Seascape. Alright, so here we're going to be combining the gravity changers with a character swap. Or trying to. I messed that up. But basically, we're going to be combining falling down with the gravity changers and a character swap in order to get high enough and, again, skip puzzles. Very nice. And we also switched to Joy here so that we can just kind of hover to the end here. Can you stop spinning, Broccoli? Thank you.
I like how the broccoli's a villain character.
Broccoli is villain,
Don't say I don't enjoy this.
just like in the movie. Riley hates Broccoli.
Okay, so we're back to fear and going fast.
Yep. Again, just damaging past pretty much anything we can. Going to jump on the straw and try to jump off and grab that ledge right there. That's a neat little, like, 1 second skip. It's very flashy. And this part's very fun. We just kind of roll through a couple times, do a spring boost.
Oh, that looked fun.
Yeah, that's very fun movement.
Very satisfying.
Yeah. And then here we would have to do a very annoying puzzle with a bunch of memory workers, but instead we can just put it here, and we can actually do, didn't quite do it, but we can do a double jump while picking up the memory worker. And need to move it just a tiny bit more.
Oh yeah, let me help. I know how to
So if you're just holding it, you can't do a double jump, but if you double jump while picking it up, you can get
Yeah,
the boost?
so basically you can double jump and then pick up right as you do your second jump, and that allows us to get second jump and get the memory worker up to where you're not supposed to.
That's awesome. Was that also like an incidental finding that you had when running the...
That's kind of a newer skip that I found. I think I accidentally did a double jump with the memory worker, and I'm like, hold on, I know exactly where that can be useful.
That's awesome. How many hours would you say you've put in this game so far to figure out all this routing?
I have 200 hours on this game on Steam, and most of that has been for the Inside Out playset. So definitely a lot of hours I've put into running and routing this game.
I think it's really awesome because you're like the trailblazer.
Exactly.
And then everyone that comes after you has basically has you to thank for figuring all this stuff. And it feels kind of special, right? Like you've left your mark.
Yeah,
regardless.
for real. I love finding more obscure games and runs that not very many people have done, and just find that's my favorite part of speedrunning is finding a new game that not a lot of people have ran and exploring it and cracking it wide open.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And I've done that quite a bit for a handful of Disney games.
Is there something that specifically draws you to Disney and Pixar games?
So, in my childhood, I loved Pixar in particular. I grew up watching Pixar, and specifically a lot of the behind-the-scenes, DVDs and disc 2s. So I fell in love with Pixar from a very young age, and when I got into speedrunning, it just kind of naturally turned into playing all the Pixar games. We also have a kind of wave attack here that we can use so I'm just going to use that to get rid of those enemies here. Something that you can also do is you can kind of drop the memory while you're about to grab a ledge, and that'll make the memory go up a ledge, so that allows us to skip quite a bit of puzzling as well. This one can be a little bit finicky. Yeah, I just drop the memory and then also grab the ledge, and the memory stays up there as well.
Wow, that's really awesome.
Yeah, it's very useful, and skips a lot of annoying puzzles, because that puzzle would be very tedious and annoying, just moving stuff back and forth.
But that's okay, because puzzles are suggestions.
Puzzles are suggestions.
I am taking this mentality into every puzzle game I play from this point on.
Exactly. Play Portal, these puzzles are suggestions.
They're just suggestions.
Do an actual puzzle? It's a suggestion.
It's a suggestion. just kind of jumble it all together and just
look at all the colors, put it back in the box.
Yeah. Take it out, shake the pieces together, dump it out. I made a picture. It's good. It's a suggestion.
I'm going to be doing another skip here with Joy to skip past more suggestion puzzles. And this character swap is actually pretty important because for whatever reason, if you don't switch characters, the next level you'll just be stuck and you won't be able to move and you'll have to switch characters. But switching characters there will prevent that.
Exhibiting.
This game has a lot of weird technical quirks, and even to this day I'm still finding things that are like, why did that happen? Why would... It's very strange.
That's
but it's
never
so,
happened before.
It's so charming. Yeah. This is quite a difficult spring boost. The angle's quite precise in order to
I was
land on
gonna
those
say,
clouds.
it looks like you have to fling yourself crazy around some stuff.
Yeah, you have to like not hit the wall too much to lose enough speed, but you also have to like angle it perfectly. That works. There we go.
Nice.
Ooh, that was gorgeous.
That might be one of the harder spring boosts of the game. We're also
That's
just gonna go over here. This one's a lot simpler, except if the tornadoes get in the way.
Okay, that was rude.
Yeah, sometimes the tornadoes just are like, hey, we're gonna set a tornado right in your path. This one's very fun. It just skips so much and sends you so far flying.
Did you just skip like over half the level?
I think I skipped like a third of the level or something. I also want to make sure to get rid of these swamp creatures, because if you're too close to them, Fear will auto-lock onto them if you try to dash into them, which is very annoying. This and also Toy Story 3, which are the same devs and same engine, your character loves to just lock onto things that you're not aiming at. You can be facing the opposite direction and still knock into enemies and stuff. So we're going to be doing another massive spring boost just to skip all of that. And then here we're actually going to be combining a spring boost into a character swap. So I'm just going to time it here, do spring boost, and then right at the end, try to do the swap jump. I timed it just a tiny bit wrong.
I think the fun part about the spring boost is like, even if you don't get it the first time, it's still fun.
It's still so like visually pleasing just to see the character skip, launch as far as possible. I think I'm timing it just a little bit too early. Oh, and the audio's gone for some reason. That's fun. That's always fun. That's never happened before.
Yeah.
Alright, so this is the first ball rolling level, kind of monkey ball levels, and we can actually get on it early and just kind of roll on an invisible bat ball, and that'll get us further in the level. So yeah, this is basically monkey ball, except the momentum is very slow and very weird. So if there's anything that the hosts want to say, now would be a good time for this level.
Yeah, we have something really special that was created for this event, and we just wanted to shout it out as well. There is a limited edition Out of Bounds Toronto event t-shirt. So, my question to you all is, did you know that Lady Arcaders has a Ko-fi shop? So all funds raised through purchases of Lady Arcaders merch are put towards running events and tech for Lady Arcaders. So definitely check out the entire Lady Arcaders collection at ko-fi.com/Lady Arcaders or type !merch in chat. We appreciate your support. And yes, that limited edition Out of Bounds Toronto event t-shirt is really, really awesome. You gotta go check it out.
I'm definitely going to be getting one.
Me too.
This is a small little skip that I found recently, just being able to use enough momentum to get up there, skip some button pushing. The next level is very fun and very broken, using the dimension break as well. So basically in the next level, I don't know why on this level in particular, but the gravity changers are a bit, I want to say misconfigured, but basically it allows us to fall vertically to the end of the level. So it's gonna be very fast and very fun movement. But first we gotta wait for these bubbles to come up in order to get a memory.
Where are we right now? I'm looking at the screen. Is this a castle?
I think this is a castle. This is the level is called Brainstorms 3, so I don't know if that helps, but yeah, we're just gonna go diagonally here.
I'm
Oh,
feeling.
this one's the super skip, right?
Yep.
Oh.
Whoa.
Whoa. Whoa. Oh.
And we're at the end of
and
the
we're
level.
done. Holy heck, that was amazing.
That is my favorite skip of the run, because and that level as well is very annoying to play normally. Before that skip was found, it was one of my least favorite levels, but now that's my favorite level. You just go flying.
That's how you know you've got a good run, when that one trick takes it from I can't stand this level to let me play this level over and over and
Exactly.
over again.
I just like play it over and over again to save like fractions of a second off of doing the skip perfectly. I'm also very curious why some of the game audio's gone. All I have now is music, so hopefully that doesn't mess me up too much.
Yeah, I was wondering about that myself. I didn't know if it was just me.
Yeah, it's definitely not just you. Again, this game can be quite finicky sometimes, so...
It was the out of bounds.
It was the out of bounds. It messed it up. So
You're just going too fast.
Another... The audio is really messing me up right now. There's also a weird thing where, like, sometimes you're not able to grab ledges or straws, like, right after you switch characters, and you kind of have to, like, back away from them. Alright, there we go. That should be good.
Very nice hover.
Switch back over to Fear. Here, we just have to come across here and get some memory. Haven't found a skip for this section yet, but... maybe someday. Maybe someday. There's still lots of potential for skips and new routes to be discovered and created.
Yeah, you know, as soon as you get that sub 50, you're going to want to approach the 40 mark.
Yeah, sub 40 is, like, intimidating, but, like, I feel like with enough new stuff, it could happen one day.
I think that's one of the great joys of speedrunning. Like, when you think, oh, I've really taken this game to the limit, that limit can almost always be pushed.
Yeah.
It's like, I never thought... It's like, when I first started running this game and, like, my time was, like, 120, I'm like, there's no way sub-hour is gonna happen. And then sub-hour happened, and now sub-50 is just, like, almost possible. Gonna be doing another dimension break here and just using gravity changers to get onto the other side. And then get rid of that broccoli, and then this one's a bit tricky, but just kind of jump across there. And that's the end of Topsy-Turvy 1.
Awesome.
So this level probably has the hardest dimension break skip that I've done, that I'm doing in runs so far, so hopefully it goes well. Lots of stuff can go wrong in it, because the dimension break can be very finicky with falling out of bounds. Gravity changers makes it even more finicky. Just gotta wait for the spring to come up.
I could listen to this music all day.
Yeah,
right?
This music is so fun. And just so like, if there was a soundtrack, or like if these songs were on Spotify, I would just have a playlist of them. Here we're going to be doing an extended spring boost, and we're not going to quite get up to where we're supposed to go, but we're able to trigger that checkpoint, and thankfully there's lava nearby, so we'll be able to do a short little death warp.
Oh, that's awesome.
Usually the lava insta-kills you, but for some reason it didn't there. And then here we're going to be doing an extended spring boost to the right, and then we're going to be doing a spring boost back over to the left to grab this memory.
Very nice.
Fear's got the zoomies.
He's just zooming all over the place. Alright, let's see how this works. Gonna do an dimension break there. And there's an invisible wall there for some reason. I'm just slowly floating down. It's okay, it means we get to see this part again.
Mm-hmm.
So, are there lives to contend with in this game too, or is that not a concern?
No, there's infinite lives.
Okay, so that
thankfully,
can be really helpful.
no deaths are not a concern, at least number of them.
Awesome. So there's no limit of how many you can use to your advantage if able.
Exactly.
Awesome. So are we trying to wiggle our way out and then back in up top there?
Yeah, that's what we're trying to do. For some reason, there's like a weird invisible wall, and oh no, I'm soft locked. As you can see, you can't grab memories if you do dimension break too many times, so fortunately I'm gonna have to restart the level, but that's okay.
That's okay. Maybe we'll get the sound back.
Yeah, maybe the sound will come back now. It might actually, I hope. It doesn't sound like it.
Yeah, because we don't hear the little balls
yeah, we
blinking.
don't hear the little the memory jingles. They're on this level. I think if I restart the game, it would bring the audio back, but
that's not part of, well, not part of this speed run.
That's not part of a speed run. You don't restart the game inside of a speed run. That's why would you ever do that?
We don't
That's
do
never
that.
happened before.
I am just bopping out with this soundtrack. It's so good.
Yeah.
Like, obviously the sound effects are, like, for me, when I play games, I need the sound effects so I know what I'm doing, but the track is so pleasant.
Yeah. The dialogue in this game is so fun, and also the music, like, just the audio design in Disney Infinity Inside Out is so fun. And sometimes you just get bopped off that straw for whatever reason, because the gravity changers are so glitchy in this game. Near the end of the game, it gets very, very odd.
So do you find, like, the more you glitch the game, the more broken it gets as you play, or is usually level to level it's reasonably okay?
Level to level, it's reasonably okay. Some levels are more broken and more finicky than others. Ever since starting to do dimension breaks, it's definitely gotten a lot more finicky and a lot more fragile, I'd say. And having to watch out for certain things, make sure they don't happen. We'll just do this normally for now, because I've been failing it quite a bit in practice, so. Oh, I forgot to jump. That's okay. Ooh, that was cool. That wasn't supposed to happen, but that was neat movement.
I love how some of the levels force you to, like, play 180, you know, like completely upside down, and then you have that smooth transition to the other direction.
Yeah, sure.
You got a little bit of that Super Mario 3D World, as you said, and a little bit of the Galaxy going on.
Yeah, a bit of Mario 3D World, a bit of Galaxy. Just a very fun vibe and very colorful, very abstract types of levels. And 3D platformers are my bread and butter. I love 3D platformers, so this is like the perfect game for me. I'm so glad I found this game and decided to pick it up for the run.
Yeah, we're glad you're here showcasing it to us today.
Alright. This is Topsy Turvy 3. We got like 6 more levels left-ish? Or
Also
no, wait,
getting there.
like 5, I think. I don't know how to count.
And you said there are 30 total, so we've
Yeah,
made
there's
quite
like
a bit of progress.
Yeah, we're nearing the end of the game. This is like near, like, the next level is the last set of 3 levels, and then we also have a final boss that we have to defeat as well.
Is it a movement type? I'm gonna wait until you get there. I'm just wondering what combat would be like in a game like this.
I will say it's not super interesting, but it is like visually interesting.
And it's totally different than the actual gameplay, which you don't experience anything like the final, I'm gonna say quote, boss
Yeah.
throughout any of the levels.
I got squished. Sometimes with those blocks, they're offset a little bit, and like I'll try to do it, but I'm just gonna turn this off for a second, and that will allow us to get past. This level as well is pretty simple and not a lot of skips to it yet. Maybe there's something like Brainstorm 3 that's just crazy and just skips the whole level, but nothing I've found yet so far, but you never know. I'm actually gonna wait. Usually these would have audio and would tell me when they're coming.
I mean, you're doing fantastic
Yeah.
considering it's been gone for the last 25
Yeah.
minutes.
That would be the most distracting thing in any of the games I run, so I'm not certain how you're dealing with it.
All Alright, and that is the end of the level. We got 3 more platforming levels left, and all of them are 3D now, so we're done with 2D levels.
So no more 3D skips.
No more 3D skips. But we still do have quite a few. We do have a handful of skips left to do. Most of which involve springs.
You gotta spring it to win it.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, so, how's chat feeling about puzzles? Do we still want to skip puzzles? Because, there's another one coming up. I think we're still not a fan of puzzles, so we're just gonna...
Puzzles are a suggestion.
We're just gonna skip. Okay, this audio's starting to... Because I also use audio cues for, like, the character switching as well.
You got this, though. You've come this far. Almost there. Oh, I thought you had it there. It was so close.
Mean.
There we
Yeah, nice.
Awesome.
And then since we're playing as discussed right now, we're actually going to, since we did a character swap there, we're actually going to use these clouds in order to jump up there, which is very nice. Usually these hammers would be on, but we're just going to jump around them. They don't matter.
Is there a switch to turn them on?
There is.
Okay.
It's the blue switch, but we don't really have to mess with most of the switches in this level.
We don't need no switches.
Switches are like puzzles. Suggestions.
Switches are like puzzles, yeah. And then here, we're going to be switching back over, and we're going to be using Joy's Flutter, and then jumping all the way over, almost. I would have gotten that with audio.
That's a far jump.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's relatively new as well. I didn't realize it was possible until recently.
So do you start with Joy there because Joy has the flutter?
Yeah, so I'm switching over to Joy for this jump in order to have the flutter for this part here.
Ah, okay.
There
Let's
we
go.
Awesome.
Alright, so now we have another ball rolling stage, and once again I'm going to try to get on the ball early. And if I can, just fall down the ramp. Just fall down, and that gets us quite a bit farther in the level, so... It's a little bit finicky if it works, but when it works, it's very funny. Alright, so we got another ball rolling level. Not too much going on, so if you want to say one more thing during this level, that would be a good time.
Not a problem. I'd actually like to tell everybody, about Lady Arcaders, why we're here, the organization we're with. So Lady Arcaders is an all-women gaming collective. Lady Arcaders welcomes all women in gaming, speedrunners, developers, casual fans alike. In addition to our cozy private community, we run weekly showcases on our Twitch channel, as well as larger charity events throughout the year. Upcoming, we do have the Lady Arcaders Super Showcase. And what we run weekly is the Attract modes, which are fantastic showcases. They are just wonderful, wonderful showcases that we've been running. I've done one myself. I would love to see a few more people coming in with their games. But yeah, they run on Thursday night at 9 p.m. and Sunday afternoon at 2 p.m. Eastern to catch awesome ladies showing off their gaming skills.
Awesome. I'm very excited for Super Showcase as well. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, so that's the end of the ball rolling stage. We got one more level. Also, the story in this game, we haven't really gone over it, but there are these like swamp monsters that are invading Riley's mind, and we gotta like stop them or something. I think that's the story. It's been a while.
My favorite thing is, as you speedrun a game, you just absolutely forget
You
what
just
the actual
absolutely
story is.
And then like if there's like a major skip, and then you play casually, and like, oh, I forgot about this part. That's a part of the game I played that one time. That's unfortunate. That's never happened before. Alright, so in this level, there's this boyfriend generator, if you remember from the movie. And that is the machine that the swamp monsters are spawning out of. And we're supposed to like do a bunch of puzzles and stuff to do it, but we're going to be doing a pretty cool looking skip. We call this boyfriend skip.
So the boyfriends are swamp monsters?
The swamp monsters are coming out of the boyfriend generator. First try, there we go.
Very nice.
Oh, awesome!
So yeah, we chain an extended spring boost around that corner and switch to Joy at the very end to hover to the end. Now we got one more level, and since the next level doesn't really matter how fast we're running, we're just going to stay as Joy to save like 2 seconds for character swapping.
So is it like an auto-scroller?
Yeah, so this final boss is kind of like an auto-scroller.
Okay.
It's Jangles the Clown.
Ooh, scary.
Yeah.
Very, very scary. I remember you from my nightmares.
Oh,
I don't like that
turn.
clown.
I don't like that head turn.
I'm not a fan of that clown.
So yeah, basically with this boss, we have to use Jingle's hammer in order to destroy 15 swamp monsters for this first phase. So just trying to keep all the swamp monsters in the middle and get the hammer to destroy them.
Are these the same swamp monsters that come out of the boyfriend machine?
Yep, these are the same ones. So we stopped the boyfriend machine, but I think it's like there's still a bunch of them around, so we gotta destroy them all with Jingles.
So, what is how do you group them up on the center? Do you just stand there and they come towards you, or?
Yeah, so what I try to do, also here, I'm going to try to pop all of the balloons here. And if I pop all of them, that'll speed up that countdown at the end and give a little jingle at the end. So yeah, for grouping up the swamps, basically just kind of stand around the middle and have them come towards me, and yeah. Also, they swap it up. There's 3 different phases for this. So the second phase, they swap around the buttons, try to make it a little bit more complicated, but it's still pretty simple. So yeah, just kind of staying in the middle here, having them all attack me so they all get destroyed.
Ooh, how'd that one turn into a balloon?
Yeah, so if they get like hit on the side but not like completely destroyed, then they turn into like a big balloon, and you have to dash into them in order to destroy them.
So how?
I'm one off. You can get that in 3 phases, but I just missed it by 1.
How tenuous is your life here? Like, is it possible to fail, or can you pretty much tank the monsters?
It's possible to fail, but I mean, it's possible to die, but even if you die, it doesn't like reset your progress or anything. So
oh, okay. So you can go back to the phase that you were in?
Yeah, it stays at the exact same spot, so.
That's very generous.
Yeah, very generous. I know back in like the Super Nintendo and even N64 days, lives were like very precious and games were a lot harder. Which I'm personally glad that lives aren't as much of a thing anymore.
It's for sure just a different way to speedrun too. Like, you can have different strategy if you can use your lives to your advantage.
I mean, yeah, you can like do death warps and all that fun stuff. Alright, it should be one more hit, and this is the final phase, so time is coming in soon.
That's
got-
what needed, right? 25?
One more celebration. To celebrate the end of the run.
Woo!
Yeah.
Pop the balloons. Alright. And... Give me a second now. Time! There we go.
GG's. Beautiful run.
Awesome. That was a lot of fun. Thank you all so much for watching. I just want to shout out a few people. Shout out to all my speedrunning friends that I've met throughout the years. Shout out to my mom and brother. They're not here today, but they traveled with me to Toronto. We're here for the week. Shout out to Lady Arcaders and the hosts and everyone for hosting this awesome event. And yeah, thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for being here.
Now, Izzy, where could we find you if we wanted to watch more of you?
You can find me twitch.tv/IzzyHope58. I run a ton of Pixar games. That's like my main bread and butter. I'm running this for a while. I've been running Toy Story 3. So if you want to see more movie games, check it out. And also, we have a speedrun.com page. You can go to you can go to speedrun.com/insideout. We also have a Discord. We'd love to have you. We'd love to teach you this game. And yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.